we already have the draft underway. We're getting a few things together, fixing some stuff. That way we are ultimately prepared for what is going to be a very hype series. We have loved casting Infamous Gaming. It is fantastic. I was writing this on Twitter, actually. I feel like the skill gap between the top half teams and the bottom half teams, it's never been this small, that gap. And being able to see specifically teams like Infamous or Navi come into these fights and come with them with confidence and say, we're going to outplay the favorites of this tournament. And they've done it. Sometimes they've lost matches, but they've taken games off of great teams, and as a result, they're in a great spot, may even be able to get top 4. If they can take down Ninjas of Pajamas, that would certainly help them. Meanwhile, Ninjas of Pajamas, certainly a team that a lot of people expected to be maybe within top 8 distance, at least not bottom of their group, but they have to win every single match here on out.
And this is the wild part for me, is that just the positions. If you had reversed your statement, saying
Yes.
like, Infamous is, 2 wins, they're about to go out, I'd be like, all right. And NIP is like in the middle of the pack, maybe like a game or 2 off. I'd say, all right, that sounds about right. But the fact that Infamous is in this position, you know what it reminds me of? Those like, when you're a gymnast, you want to be as a young. They like young gymnasts because you do things without fear.
Yeah.
You don't have that, like, I'm going to get injured if I perform this, like, incredible maneuver.
Yeah.
You just kind of go for it. And that's what Infamous has. Like, they don't have that fear. And I really like that. This is not, like, a team of, like, crazy veterans or anything like that. These guys, for the most part, they're playing with this reckless abandon that you can't just help but love. Genuinely, this is one of the coolest teams that I've seen at a TI because they might not be the most talented, strategically sound, experience, whatever you want to call it, but what they are is they're fearless. They're going to play for the win. That might cost them sometimes, but at least they're going in with like they're playing to win at all times. I feel like there's always at TI, there's way too many teams that are playing not to lose.
Yes. And Ninjas of Pajamas is definitely one of those teams. If you're talking about Infamous being fearless, Ninjas of Pajamas, you can say they're more fearful. These are all players who have been at a TI before, have been on teams that are probably like been more favorited than this current one. And it seems like it's just backfiring for them. The fact that they have this experience.
You have a lot of these guys that have played at top teams. You have Fada, who played on that Liquid Squad C9. He's been here and back. You have PPD, who obviously won with EG, got top 8 last year. Ace, who got to play with that secret roster in the previous year, was one of those standout players that we foresaw like being very good. Saxa, second place TI run, 33, also got top 8 last year and was long heralded as one of those, like, this is the best guy you've never heard of.
Yes.
And there is a levy of expectations that have been heaped upon them. This is a rough run for them because you can sense that they're not making game-winning plays anymore.
Yes.
Yesterday in the series that we saw against, what was it? It was NIP versus the team
Keen?
escapes me. Was it Keen?
I actually
No, it was Keen versus Newbie, I thought.
Yeah, Keen versus Newbie was the match that we casted, and we had NIP versus Vici. Yeah,
That's what it was. And they did take a game, but
they did take that second game.
the
They had
first
a very
game-
cool concept.
yeah, the first game was terrible because we just saw them sort of lose.
Yeah, it's like the fear of, guys, we have to win all of these games. We can't lose anymore, and they played exactly like that. They played like, oh god, their Vici Gaming is ahead right now. They have the advantage. They can beat us in team fights. Let's just stay away from them as long as possible and hope they mess up.
Whereas Infamous, these guys are like, they're Radiance burning people while hitting neutrals, running away. Chris Lux doing some like crazy 1v5 shenanigans. Like, they're going for it.
Yeah.
I will never fault you as a team if you play to win. Every single time you'll instantly become one of my favorite teams to cast. Because at the very least, you're determining it's on our own terms. We win or lose on our terms. We're going to do some crazy shit. We're going to pick Huskar against EG. But we're going to do it because that's what we want to do. And they even went 1-1 against EG. Like, this is a very talented squad.
Yeah.
This is a team that I could easily see make one of those Cinderella top 8 runs. Let me tell you, if this team is in the loser bracket, you do not want to play against them. No team here at TI wants. These guys are dangerous.
Dude, I don't care if like Liquid's in the lower bracket to match up
Yes.
against Infamous. Dude, I could see Infamous easily taking them down.
Yes, and that is the scary part. Is these guys have shown they can beat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They did get whomped on by OG, but at this point, who hasn't? So, and since then, I felt like that was their awakening moment. They didn't go like, we're 0-2, we're ass. Like they're like, we're actually gonna play even harder. We're gonna go for it. And they were in a position where they could have 2-0'd Navi, but them's the breaks. But if you're an NIP fan, now is the time to go.
Yes. If you want any semblance of control of your own destiny, you need to win both these games against Infamous, and you need to win both games against Evil Geniuses. That will put you at 6 points, one ahead of both RNG, VP, Infamous, and Fnatic are all in that 5-point category right
Yes.
now. So you can reasonably expect one of those teams to only get, like, you're probably going to get a tie somewhere. Like,
Yes.
somebody's not going to win all their games. Somebody might only get one win. Put yourself up to 6. If you lose even one game, then you have to dream that one of these teams doesn't win a single game.
And the crazy part is, for me, Infamous, they're in a position where they can also control their own fate by 2-0ing NIP. And who would have thought that they would enter this game as prohibitive favorites?
If they actually manage to win this, they'll put themselves tied with Na'Vi. They will leapfrog over Evil Geniuses, be tied with Na'Vi for 3rd in the group at 7 points. And that almost will solidify their top 4. I think you need 8 to really be in good shot of it.
Let's see who else plays today. So we would have EG plays VP right now, so that could be a very hard draw for either side.
Yep.
Which would help. That if that series goes like 1-1 and Infamous goes 2-0, that would only help them. Then we have later on. How can this bracket help?
So
Series
particularly, Infamous want teams to draw.
Yeah.
Ninjas in Pajamas want somebody to get blown the hell out of the water. They want somebody else to sink down into the depths of that very bottom group.
Yeah, Infamous only gets to play bottom 3 teams today.
Oof.
So they play RNG, and of course NIP, who literally only have drawn twice and have lost flat out on all their other series. So this is quite the interesting predicament that we're in, because I could very easily see a situation where Infamous could go like 3-1, 4-0, and suddenly they're in the cap. They're top 12 at TI. That's a life-changing amount of money for anybody, much less a squad that hasn't really had that much success throughout this year.
Yeah.
In one go, snap like that, it's like they got second at a major.
Yep. It's like it's like $1 million, right? For top 12.
You can check it out.
It's like close to it. Last pick, Ember Spirit for Ninjas in Pajamas. They have a lineup that is going to scale late game, and they're trying to address this Broodmother pick that Infamous with big balls just dropped. 3rd pick. Let's see. We've got 13 through 16 to the 500,000. 9 through 12 is actually not that much more. Never mind.
Still,
It's only
all
600,000 for 9
by
through 12.
By virtue, if they win this one game, they have guaranteed themselves all $100,000.
Yeah. Dude, that
is a good year.
That's
I don't care who you are. That is a good year.
That's a lot of money.
It's really getting last. That is the rough part.
Yeah.
Getting last, getting even 16th gets you 100K individually. Getting last gets you 20, less than 20 actually.
Less than 20.
Like 17, which is like, no one's scoffing at 17,000 in 3 days work, but at the same time, like, it feels bad when you see how much
when the upside is literally millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You're not happy with 17K.
It's more than $80,000 more for just not getting last. And for Infamous, they're going to hang their hopes on this Brood. I think if you had asked anybody, them not getting last in the group is such a big win for them.
Yeah.
Securing themselves that 100K bag, you guys get it. But NIP, these guys are wily old veterans. Do not count them out just yet.
No. I mean, this is every single day is a new day at TI. You just need one of those really good days to get yourself into the playoffs. And then from there, anything can happen, right? especially with those best of one. So last pick, Juggernaut. As you said, they're going to hang a lot of their hopes on this Broodmother. This is not a terribly surprising pick, I guess. Juggernaut feels like the most reliable carry. Can we say that? Like, Jug's just kind of, he gives you some team fight. He's got relatively strong laning. He scales okay.
I think Jug is like, he is the Mario of characters.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not great at any one thing, but he's just kind of good at it all. Stable laning phase, like you said. Healing Ward is great for team fighting and pushing. He's not your favorite right clicker. His ulti's kind of like hit or miss. He's just sort of like, he's good. I'm never excited about a Jug.
Yeah, it's not like it's not a strategy defining pick.
Yes, it's just like one of those things that you can slot in and you're happy about. You're like, okay, I've got a Jug. If somebody picks it in my pub game, I'm never mad.
Sure.
There are very few situations where I'm unhappy about having Jug on my team.
Meanwhile, Ninjas in Pajamas, I mean, they very early set the tone of this game, which was with their Tidehunter into Troll, they said, hey, we have better late game than you. You can't actually stop that anymore in the draft. Like, the moment you picked up the Broodmother and we dropped this Tide Troll on you, we have better late game. You're going to have to end the game fast on us. And Infamous, I don't think they're going to be displeased with that notion. I mean, the way they've been playing Dota so far and the aggression that they brought to it, I don't think the concept of, oh, guys, it's 20 minutes in and we haven't taken a lane of barracks yet. Like, I don't think that's really going to slow them down at all. I think they're going to play with the same kind of fearless pressure they've been doing all group stage long.
Oh, look at that. The tips on a PPD. South America and PPD, of course, having a long history.
Oh, absolutely.
As a result, PPD wasn't allowed to go to Carnival, but...
yeah, he even is very famously called the qualifier slot that Infamous got to TI in as the charity slot, as the free slot, right?
What is free now, friends?
And
how quickly things change.
Things have certainly changed.
He was also like the champion of... Remember when the whole CCNC squad thing happened, and they lost their spot. I kind of blame us for that one.
Yeah.
The interview that let's not talk about that. Hey, CCNC is about to get top 4 potentially. It all worked out. As they're gonna fight over this rune.
Gonna roll over him. 33 is gonna be saved by the disruption. That will buy him some time. A lot of that spin damage being negated. 33 though will still fall. Dead. And -2. It has begun.
Jinx,
Stinger.
you owe me a soda.
Stinger will begin his climb into the ascendant intellectual realms.
His brain just gets more and more cone-like.
Dude, Whisper is Whisper gonna play the suicidal offlaner as a Leshrac here? Like he's not actually having a forward position. Schofield's gonna stick around at this bottom lane. They want to make sure they ruin Tide's game.
This seems like a choice that they make often.
Yeah.
Try to give Whisper the worst possible lane and give your other 2 cores, because I do think this is a team that relies on their 2 cores to kind of win them the game.
Mm-hmm.
They really like Chris Luck and Hector. They're like, you guys are our all-star players. Let's keep it going. And
sure enough, 33 is definitely in trouble here, and he's going to die. He tried to juke through some trees, but now it's -4 intelligence for the Tidehunter. A hero that certainly...
Dude, this is terrible for Tide.
He does not have a great mana pool to work with. Saksa trying to beat down Schofield, but they will not be able to get that kill.
At this rate, he's not going to have enough to Ravage plus. And that is usually the... You know what the 2 heroes that I hate losing mana on the most? Actually, the hero it's Mars and Tidehunter.
Yeah.
Especially Mars, because there are no real int items that you want to go.
Yeah.
But Tidehunter feels just as bad.
They have like a set amount of damage, but like a set amount of mana to work with that damage. They have a strict combo that they need to execute, and if something's missing, it's just not feeling great.
As Hector, who we heard Kyle reveal, so I guess we can say too, Team Newbie thinks that Hector is the best carry at this tournament.
Yeah, and that's quite something.
That's high praise.
Kyle said he was an inspiration.
An inspiration.
And that's not the only thing that Infamous has done that's a little bit unique when it comes to the laning phase, right? We were talking about the regen factor yesterday. Just like those kind of little things that Infamous does that's just a little different, right? The suicidal offlane where they just sacrifice Whisper. The fact that they bring half the regen that any other team does when it comes to their lanes. they have a different idea about Dota, and it's working. Chris Luck, how's he doing? 14-1 compared to 13-3 on Fada.
Fada, I actually feel pretty bad for Fada because I think he gets a lot of hate, and he always has. Just whenever Fada does poorly, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, there are some circumstances that you have to consider, like as to why he's getting poor lanes and stuff like that.
I think part of it is that like Fada's legacy as a mid player in the early ages of Dota 2, like he solidified this very specific playstyle that was potent, and I don't think he's ever had that same kind of potency as a mid laner since. And I'm sure there's reasons for it, but
I think he's more like a 3
yeah,
as a mid laner.
yeah, I would agree.
And that's why the thing about Dota, guys, is someone will always have a bad laning phase. As bottom lane, 33.
And that's 33. 33 is having a rough one right now as he may be dying.
He's dead.
For the third time. Hector is going to take a little bit longer to run him down.
Hey, Hector's got boots.
33 is going to have to perform some sort of miracle juke to get out of that.
Will not lose any more int, but
we'll lose a creep wave.
He's had a bad game and a half at this point. I mean, this is going to help Sox's game a little bit more, but I actually don't think that this ET is going to have that good of a game. He's kind of nice against the Brood, but doesn't really do anything against the Jug.
Yeah.
Like, Jug don't care.
You have to be super far ahead to do well as a ET against Jug. And I think that...
also, look at this top lane, by the way. Not to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But Whisper's doing fine.
No.
And this is a scary thing. When Whisper's doing fine, the guy that they intentionally... like, it's almost like they want Whisper to have a bad time. Some of the situations that they put him into.
I think the worst possible thing that happened from NiP is they said, oh, they're tri-laning us, so ET TP down to bottom, and then, you know, at some point in time, Schofield shows up at top, and it becomes a 2v1 for a little while.
Yes.
Whisper also wasn't that shut out because it's an Elder Titan, you know? He's not that. He's still going to get experience. He's not actually going to die. They are going to be able to get the splitter at the top in the air. Ace, he does manage to get saved by the disruption, but yeah, they're just going to run out of damage. But that's fine.
Yeah, they're going to get the bounty runes.
What's not fine is the fact that they have 5 stacks of the Shadow Poison on Schofield. He will manage to refill his bottle here.
He wants to come back in right now, Cap.
He's really trying to with the Avalanche, and now they're going to pop the Edict. The Split Earth lands, and this time it'll be Peter, who's under assault and will fall.
This laning phase has gone way too well for Infamous. And remember, this was a third pick Brood, and it was kind of addressed in my mind, but I still think this is a very good Brood game.
Yeah. Zaxa, he's going to be chased down. Nobody's having a good game at this point.
Oh no, he didn't actually lose int, but it doesn't really matter for a 5-position silencer. It's more, it's like the int that you gain is sort of irrelevant. It's what you take away that's even better. And let me just say, even though 33 playing this Tidehunter does have a mechanic to farm the jungle, you almost never want to be in this position because you don't do it that efficiently.
No.
Tidehunter is not a hero that can afford to be at the bottom of the net worth charts. I know a lot of people consider him just like a Ravage bot, but that is the worst kind of Tidehunter. When you're in a position where all your hero can provide is Ravage, this guy's tanky. He's supposed to last in fights. You're supposed to throw out anchor smashes. You're supposed to frontline for your team. This is supposed to be a very good...
He's supposed to protect towers for you?
Yeah.
Like, he's supposed to be tanky enough that the Ravage is always a threat.
Yes. You're supposed to use your Ravage as like your last possible option. Not as like... not as the only thing that your hero can put out. Tide has always been one of those heroes where he needs to be top 5 net worth in the game to be successful. That is what I understand about the hero, and nothing's really changed in that regard. He is not a sacrificial offlaner. He's similar to Darkseer in that regard, very item dependent.
Chris Luck is going to be able to finish up his hand at minus, so the net worth is really going to start peaking, and it's looking like, Blitz, a game that Fada's going to have to save with his Ember Spirit.
Yes, he actually has to carry this one, because right now, the way that the laning phase is looking, again, every time 33 steps up, Juggernaut is so good against Tidehunter. You can spin on top of him, he doesn't care if you cracking it off. His ulti is always going to be an effective kill threat, he's going to pop you like the watermelon that you are. And it's not even like this top lane is compensating by going so well. They've pressured Ace heavily. The Leshrac is doing just fine. Like, compared his CS and the amount of impact that he's been able to have versus the Tidehunter, and the Tide would love to have boots.
And they're going to have to stay in this lane, too, because of the threat of the Leshrac. The fact that he has gotten these levels, the high levels to Diabolic Edict, means that they're going to have to stay in this lane constantly.
Oh, they find the D-War, too. Everything that could be going wrong right now for NIP is going wrong because it's 7 minutes in. We're up 7-0 on the side of Infamous, and they've got a 4K gold lead. This is not what we wanted to see out of NIP. We said we want to see an aggressive team that gets going early, and that just hasn't happened.
We'll see where the first rotation from Fada ends up showing himself, as he does find a haste rune. So this is definitely a huge opportunity for him to change the tides of these side lanes.
Top lane, the whiff on the stun as Whisper was trying to find Ace. Are going to throw out the stun as well. This Tiny, by the way, is not that underleveled or underfarmed as PPD.
Here he comes. He's on his way. The toss back into his creep wave. Schofield just trying to get Whisper out of here because they know this rotation, I think, is coming from Fada. He hasn't actually popped his haste rune yet.
I think the reason why they spot this rotation, by the way, is because the classic, I'm going to give my 4-position mid lane.
Yep.
People are becoming so much better about that nowadays. Guys, in Dota, you always want your mid laner to leave and for somebody to take that space. Just so that, A, your tower doesn't get hit, but B, somebody's gaining all that juicy experience. And it's really safe experience, too. Ganking mid lane is never easy. There's always vision around the area. But it does mean nowadays that the mid laner, it becomes more and more apparent that he's on the move, which is why Fada right now, instead, what he's going to do is he's going to jungle for a bit, and he's going to make his way down, in fact, towards bottom, where he can't really have impact. His top lane Ace.
Troll, he does have the ultimate, and he's going to be saved by the disruption. He also has magic stick charges, so Infamous should be very wise about that. You know, we talk about how aggressive they've been and everything, but they haven't overextended themselves yet. They've had a strong read of when they've just run out of damage, and they've put the pressure on, and that's good enough.
That was a rough move by Fada, by the way. When he went top, this actually hurt his game quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because the Broodmother is just a much more efficient jungler than you are.
I mean, why didn't he make like one of those TP plays? How could they possibly deal with an Ember Spirit who TPs into lane, pops his haste rune, and runs at you?
I mean, he did TP to bottom eventually, but I don't think you feel that bad about it if you're Infamous. Like,
yeah, you could
your
see
Jug is strong.
Hector is not scared of Fada whatsoever.
Your Jug is really strong at this point. This Jug already has a Yasha. It's a very good timing for him as
Bounty Rune's going to get split across the map. They're going to give 33 the mid lane, because boy does he need it.
He is so underfarmed at this point. Only level 5, not even quite level 6. Still doesn't... He does have the money for the boots cap.
Yep.
But this is not one of those Force, Mech, Guardian Grieve, Pipe, Tidehunters that you want to see.
Yeah,
this
he
is
can't
your
stop this
utility
push.
hero.
I think the concept was the Ember Spirit gets the levels mid lane, and eventually he gives the lane to Tide, who can protect the tower. But he's so underleveled and Crystalek is so far ahead that this mid tower will not survive for very long.
Yes. I actually don't think Crystalek cares that much about taking the tower this game.
Yeah.
I think the bigger objective for him is just to get fat.
It looks like it. I mean, the way he's just going for the Aghanim Scepter right now and building that up.
Let me say the best part about Brood games is when your side lanes go well. Because then you have no pressure to do anything. You can just farm. You don't have to pressure the map anymore. This hero, he gets to do both. That's what makes him so good. But when you're put in a position where you just get to hit creeps and you know that you're not being a burden on your team, like, he doesn't have to share the jungle, which is really nice, right? His Juggernaut doesn't need to move into this triangle area. Nobody needs to come into mid lane because they're so far behind. He can get both the best of all worlds, really.
Schofield shows himself with the illusion, does try and get behind. He's going to toss his own illusion up in the air to try and hit Ace, but this rotation coming out with the global being used. Sadly, that is a losing fight for Infamous, as Fada is still able to teleport in and help defend his safe lane.
I ain't sad about it, man. I want this series to go.
That's true. This win is much more important for NIP than it is for Infamous at this point.
Yeah, I want maximum drama. Big drama show.
Eul's Scepter for Whisper. He is getting a lot of farm out of his lane. Look at him. He's almost neck and neck with the Troll. That is a pittance compared to the Juggernaut and this Broodmother, who are both above 7K right now. They are very close to actually doubling some of the other core's net worth in this game.
Again, you know where your bread is buttered. These are your two all-stars. Give them the best possible game consistently and let them do their work. And so far, Cap, they absolutely have. They've been given the space. They do such a good job of protecting Hector's game and giving Crystalluck these good one-on-ones. And it's going to reward them so far, as Fada is going to make the rotation. He does have an Invis rune right now. Most likely going to run into Schofield, who does spot him out. Stinger lays out the silence, but might not be enough to save Schofield, as he gets a nice toss.
Even if Schofield dies here, he may have just done enough damage that other Infamous heroes can get away. Sure enough, Schofield is going to get run down by Fada.
They have to take this tower now on the side of NIP, because being up here with 3 different cores and getting nothing out of it feels so bad.
Yeah.
Because all that means is you're going to lose this bottom tower anyways, and you didn't actually get anything on the map. You didn't progress your game further.
They almost lost 2 towers for that. They had to pop the glyph to save mid lane, but bottom was still taken, and you know that mid lane's going to go down. He could just backdoor it at
Yeah, and
point.
Hector, he has unbelievable fun
And they're
at this
still
point.
contesting the Troll. It's not even like Troll got space out of that.
Yes. As they're going to come back in, PPD likely to go down here.
Yeah, he is definitely dead, as he's going to be hit by the split earth. The toss over onto Ace. A beautiful play by Schofield. Ace actually pops that battle trance and will be able to kill the Leshrac.
He might survive here for this.
So much heal, actually, that Stinger's not going to be able to do anything about him. And since Schofield ran out of damage there as well.
Nice. I'm not sure what the expectation was, because you know, he had his ult the entire time. Hector in this bottom lane just continues to push it further, is going to TP out, reset himself to the base. Does quite a lot of damage on this bottom tower, and it's rare for somebody to solo push this lane out as far as he has. Oftentimes we don't see this tower get taken, but it just goes to show you how far behind NIP are, that they aren't able to contest any of the towers. All 3 towers look quite healthy right now, Cap.
Oh, he's got a ult. What I really like about this is that the way they set this up with essentially having 2 dead lanes, right? You can't pressure the Juggernaut and take his tower. You can't pressure the Brood and take his tower, especially with the way the lanes went.
Which is why they're pressuring this top. That's why Infamous is like all-inning, tri-laning this top lane.
Yeah, they can play with Whisper, so Whisper doesn't have a terrible game either. They're actually enabling him in his greatest strength, which is his willingness to go combat at all times.
Oh, we see PPD right now. He's going to get slowed up as soon as the silence pops. And look at how unafraid Hector is. He knows that his hero is the strongest in the game at this point.
Ty does have Ravage. He could pop it out of vision, but there is nothing really to follow it up, at least not yet. Now Fada is going to go into the back line almost immediately, but his Flame Guard's going to be taken away from that Yule Scepter.
They do have Global.
A lot of his damage, but they do manage to have the 3-man Ravage. Can he finish up Whisper for the Global? It's good enough. The spin onto 33 will be able to trade out the offlaners here. The toss over onto Fada right next to Hector, and he's silenced up as well. He can't get away from this one. A triple kill. Godlike spree for Hector. Go ahead. Give him the beyond godlike. 15 minutes in, they don't. Schofield takes it away, but still, 3 dead. They only kill the Leshrac. Schofield limped out of that one, lucky to be alive, and a tier 2 to fall as well. Everything is going Infamous.
Let's not even talk about this Brood, because this Jug is so farmed. Not having a Midas, keeping up and farm to this Brood Mother. I mean, it's already a 11k gold lead at 15 minutes, and I mean, this is what we fear when we watch NIP games, just the slow march of entropy where they just lose.
Yes. At some point, it feels like they get into a losing game, and they
just don't recover it.
They don't go for like 5-man smokes or anything.
Look at that, Ace.
Oh, Fada is going to try and run down Whisper. In return, they avenge Ace, but these trade-offs.
Just not really feeling like it's worth it, as Schofield has built himself up to almost 3,000 gold here. Doesn't even feel like buying the Blink Dagger just yet. Might even opt to get something like a Shadow Blade, being as far ahead as he is.
That's an interesting idea, yeah. Yep. Tipping Whisper back. Whisper chastising him with the chat wheel. Infamous certainly don't have to be the ones to have humility.
Oh, Schofield at bottom getting run down by Fada right now, and he's going to run into his own creep wave, likely to die here.
He tosses him back onto the range creep, trying to hide in the trees. The creeps actually block out Fada pretty well, but...
Not sure what Schofield... He had 400 HP, and he didn't pop his regen, and so Fada was like, if you insist. And that's a pretty good kill. This is how you get things started. Schofield was worth quite a bit of money. He had 3,000 gold banked up. Gonna get tipped.
You could almost feel like, you know, the same thing about them playing safe. You know, like you can just, it's so obvious. Nipper, like very clearly, oh, I got a kill on you. Tip you. Are you tilted? Are you tilted yet? Are you going to run down mid and feed for me? Like, they just seem so desperate for Infamous to throw the game.
Yeah. And that's almost never a good sign, especially with the amount of talent that's on this team. Bottom lane, they're going to make the move on a Hector, but this is the freest of free Jug games. Let me tell you guys.
He's not scared at all. Eul Scepter. And the Global Silence to be able to chain that one. They throw down the Omni Slash just to make sure they have the burst damage. That's the Beyond Godlike for Hector.
They're going to lose this bottom tower now,
tier 2 as well.
Oh, they're going to run into PPD here. The toss back onto the Silencer.
The captain of Ninjas in Pajamas. He hasn't been able to pull Nip out of their funk so far.
They're going to go high ground
here. And Infamous.
Look at this split pressure right now. Chris Luck, the highest net worth hero in this game, hasn't even participated. He's 0-0-1. This is how far ahead Infamous is, that their highest net worth hero that almost doubles any other hero in the game hasn't even had to participate in a single fight.
He's got a BKB, so he could actually be quite crucial in this fight. They're going to be able to get the Ravage. Eul Scepter actually went down from the Lesh track. They needed to focus that Lesh down first because look at all that AoE damage. Nip, as a result, are not able to get a kill, and they're all focused here, and Chris Luck has just gone in for the kill. He's going to try and finish up that tier 3. Fodder shows up, so he backs up. There's no rush whatsoever for Infamous.
If you are a new viewer joining and saying, they got 22 brooded, last pick brood.
Nope.
Nope, this was a third pick brood from Infamous. They said, stop it. And they didn't. That's pretty much the story of this game right now.
They certainly did not. Shrines going to be falling. Chris Luck is going to keep chipping away at all of these buildings. You're going to see this 4-split-1 where they just constantly assault the base, and Ninjas of Pajamas have to 5-man. The sad part about their lineup is that they have to commit to one side or the other.
The fact that nobody's defending bottom should make this very, very apparent to Chris Luck.
Look at Chris Luck. He is running as far away as his webs can let him.
And Infamous is just, they're the ones that, it feels like they're the ones making the veteran moves. Hector
spins out, finishes out the melee barracks, TP's away, Whisper. Maybe the sacrificial lamb here. Schofield instead actually gets the avalanche, and they may all escape. Whisper has a long distance to run, but they guessed wrong. He thought they went into the trees earlier to go for the TP out. Now Whisper goes there. And just like that, almost 18,000 net worth lead. 1 lane of racks up at 20 minutes. 20 minutes!
That was such an odd maneuver because Chris Luck read that perfectly. He's like, if they're not defending bottom racks, they're not showing mid, they can literally only be ganking me. He runs all the way back. He makes sure that it's not some sort of weird trade where, you know, they gain gold because they kill him. He's level 20.
He also had like the spiderlings hitting the shrine while he was, you know, like kind of in
nothing
smoke
was happening
distance.
on the map.
So the moment the smoke would pop, like his spiders would see it.
It's 18,000 gold lead now. Almost a K a minute. Just for anybody that is new to the game, that is usually the metric in which you know things are going out of hand. 1,000 gold a minute. That graph has not dipped for the net worth. No. It has just steadily climbed. That is 1,000 a minute, folks.
Yeah. And Infamous. Well, in some ways, this game may become a little simpler for Ninjas of Pajamas as they start losing more and more barracks. They won't get split push as heavily.
And Chris Luck continues to not participate in these fights. He is all in committed to the split push because he knows that it's so difficult for NIP to deal with this Juggernaut alone. As Chris Luck's going to come in with the spiders.
They're going to get popped real quickly by the Anchor Smash. Ace is not here at all, by the way. He's just cutting the bottom lane. They're going to go for the Omni Slash. Eul Scepter out. The Global Silence on top. The Ember Spirit is just plain dead. He may have to buy back here just to be able to hold this. Chris Luck is going to be able to commit his BKB, addressing the Tidehunter. Wants to be able to force out the Ravage or kill him. Either way, it's happiness for Chris Luck as the rest of his team just going to focus on the buildings. The Glyph is going to stall them, and it looks like the Broodmother's going to back up, but Schofield does manage to jump in, finish out the Tidehunter. That's a second buyback for the Ninjas as Nip. They're going to lose their range
and
bears.
Ace goes down
too. They're going to lose their topping lane. Ace is dead. He's going to have to buy back as well. They're losing the buildings and they're losing their heroes, and the buybacks just don't seem to amount to anything. There's no Ravage opportunity for 33.
And this is the problem with being this far behind on Tidehunter, is that's really all he is, but you're not really given the same opportunities because you're not tanky enough to just run in and get a good Ravage. You don't buy your team enough time.
It's that terrible feeling that he knows if he Ravages, and they only kill one hero.
The game's done.
The
They'll
game's
just go.
over.
They'll, if anything, you can just buy back and run down mid again.
Yeah.
You still have all but one of your tier 1s, including that that always crucial mid tower. Just opens up so much space on the map for you.
Schofield revealed has Force Staff, Blink Dagger. Our Juggernaut with the Aegis has Manta, Mjolnir, and is going to be working towards Linken's because he figures why not. Whisper. Yule's Mech, Greaves into BKB, and Chris Luck, man. This is the piggy bank that Ninjas in Pajamas were hoping to be able to crack open, take some of his net worth for their own, but sadly, it has not been the case. He has yet to die and is pretty much 6-slotted. As he can complete the Solar Crest here, is just going to go for the high ground, force Ninjas in Pajamas back again. He's going to be able to take the range barracks, and looks like the melee barracks almost falls before anybody shows up. They wait for the stomp, goes back in, finishes that. Hector spinning on the melee barracks, commits for that one, and Ninjas in Pajamas, nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. They just accepted Megas.
I mean, what else? What play is there to make, realistically speaking?
Well, the last play is apparently diving the fountain. That's what Chris Luck is up to.
This is just shocking, like how one-sided this game was from the get-go. And this is very similar to the game in which they lost to Vici, where it just felt like nothing happened.
Yep.
This is like the exact same feeling. The scores are even similar. I think they ended up with 7 kills in the Vici game.
I mean, it looks like Ninjas in Pajamas also, it seems like they just have to have a good laning phase, because once they're in a losing situation, they just seem to get stuck.
Yeah, and I think partially what it is their draft is very limited.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the progression is meant to lie. If you have a bad laning phase in Dota, it means that some other part of your game is going to be better.
Right.
It's our laning phase is bad, but if we can get through our laning phase, all of a sudden we'll be able to do X, Y, and Z. And for NIP, it feels like our laning phase is bad, and now we're going to roll over and just let them kick us until...
Our mid-game is bad. Let's hope they throw, and at 55 minutes, we'll be able to win the game.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that Mushi Aster lineup. Was it Aster?
Yeah.
Where it's like all they did was hope that the enemy made mistakes.
Yeah.
They made 0 plays. All they did was farm. That's sort of how this one felt.
I remember the incredulous sound of your voice where you were just like, okay, I guess they're just going to give up all their outer towers and sit in their base.
It worked against
That's
complexity.
Their game plan and complexity, actually. They worked against them. But at TI...
No,
TI caliber teams, it's never
Infamous
going to work.
just third pick Brood did you, and you had 0 counters. This feels like a team that is shell shocked. But if you're a South American Dota fan, with this win, Viva Peru, it means that no matter what, Infamous cannot get last in the groups.
Yep.
They have secured themselves the bag. 100K for all of you.
They are no longer the charity slot.
Congratulations for Infamous Gaming, because honestly, this is such a good result for South American Dota. Congrats to you guys.
And let's just keep it going.
And let's keep it going, because if they win the next 3 games against the bottom 2 teams in their group, they will potentially, very likely, have secured themselves a top 4 finish in this group. For NIP, they must win out. That is the only situation in which they can survive anymore. To even get into a tiebreaker situation, they have to win out. They need some help along the way. But it all starts with game number 2, as we are going to come to a close for game number 1. 22-8, 23 minutes in was the game. That'll do it for us for game number 1. We'll come right back at you guys with game number 2 shortly.
You know what? We came into this series. I was thinking about this, Blitz. We came into the series, and we've been trying to support some teams.
Yes.
We've been trying to. We watch Infamous. We love the way they play. Let's go, baby. Let's make it happen.
You're gonna
We
make
saw
a fan of
Na'Vi.
us.
Absolutely, loving the teams. Ninjas in Pajamas. We came into this. The storyline is they can go bottom of their group. Time to change things around. We tried to play the cheerleaders. You know what? I'm done playing cheerleader for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of annoyed. You brought it up to me. It actually really got to me. This idea. This has been Ninjas in Pajamas, right? Everyone tells them they got carried by mind control. That's how they got all their DPC points. They say, no, that's absolutely not true. They have enough DPC points to go to TI without going through the qualifiers. They have all this time to figure things out. And what have they shown us?
Yeah, it's incredibly disappointing because with PPD, I always expect some sort of magic.
Yeah.
Like just like some TI, this guy's always going to get a top 8. No matter what the squad is, he's going to figure out a way. And this is a talent squad. This is a talented squad. And, for whatever reason, it's not working. And it's, in fact, Infamous that is playing like they have everything on the lines.
Yeah.
Like, wake up. This is a $35 million tournament. We don't know, unfortunately, if Fortnite will beat us next year. You can't count on the Dota community to just keep forking over that money.
Yeah.
This might be the biggest esports tournament ever. Hopefully it's not for the rest of the esports scene. I'd love it if, some other esport came in with like 100 mil, by all means. But for Dota players, this might be it. This might be the TI of TIs.
So it's time to stop rolling over if you're Ninjas in Pajamas.
Yes. Do something.
You
Show
beat
me
Vici
something.
Gaming. You beat Vici Gaming, one of the favorites of this tournament, with this cool concept of the draft. Show us something like that. Let's get into the draft. Let's see if Peter is going to wow us with something.
This is now, every game for them is the knife's edge.
Literally do or die.
Yes.
We casted Chaos going out of this tournament, and it was a sad affair. Ninjas in Pajamas, show us some fight. Show us that you want to get out of your groups.
I mean, the thing about Chaos is, like, they go for it at least. They just... unfortunately, they're not very good. That's their problem.
Yeah.
they're just not very good.
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that got put together, like, last minute.
Yeah.
They made it through their qualifiers. They got here. They just weren't good enough. Like, yeah, okay, that happens,
Yes, but if
This is a squad that has proven they can be
and they had time to prepare
not good
too.
enough to maybe, like, win tournaments, but good enough to, place top 8s.
Yeah, and they had months to prepare for this.
Yeah, with a TI winning captain.
But for whatever reason right now, Cap, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
But maybe this is it. I really liked your point, by the way, about the laning phase thing. It's like if this team has a bad laning phase, it feels like the life just goes out of them so quickly.
And the thing is, I've heard is that at the start of this tournament, like, that's all that was going for them was their laning phase, and now not even that is going well. It sounded like they had this script of laning phase, and they would do well, and then once they got outside of that, it just would fall over. And now we're getting to a net point. Now they look so defeated they can't even put together a good laning phase.
Yes, and that is so rough for them because Infamous is a team that thrives on just pummeling you in the mid game. You give them a good laning phase at all, they're just gonna roll. This is one of the best all-around teams that I've seen so far in the tournament. The only thing that Infamous really seems to lack is experience. Everything else is there for them. They play with flair. They've got superstar players. They have a superstar 4. Schofield has, for me personally, really risen in the ranks.
Yeah.
He is the best player that no one's heard of right now.
He
is just beasting. Everyone is now... Nobody thinks that Hector is an unknown anymore. Everyone knows how good Hector is.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Luck has definitely made a name for himself here too.
Yeah.
But Schofield, as a 4, his tiny has been just a treat to watch.
Dude, you got to stop giving him tiny, honestly.
You have to stop giving him tiny, but
we'll see.
Who knows?
Nip are facing up against a very similar lineup so far. No Broodmother, but they know the tiny Leshrac. They saw what happened last laning phase. I'm sure they talked about some of the mistakes they made from, like, the whole defensive tri lane, all the pressure that 33 was under, perhaps panicking a little bit.
Yeah.
And trying to adjust their lanes, and as a result, gave Whisper a strong lane while simultaneously not fixing 33's game.
So one interesting thing that Insania said when he was on the Summit Couch, I tried not to get him to reveal too much because I just feel like that's a dick move.
Yeah,
you're just handicapping him for doing a nice thing. But what he did say, because I wanted to know about what happens after the game. because it's such an interesting concept. Because every team that I've worked at has had a different concept of how to treat a loss or a win. And he was saying, you try not to think about the individual mistakes. You just focus on the draft and like the bigger picture stuff.
Yeah.
Because the small, minute details, it's really easy to tilt yourself and get bogged down into. That's how you end up blaming
if you hadn't
one
missed
player.
that Burrow strike,
Yes.
we would have won that fight, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
But all that does really is make one person feel bad.
Yeah.
Because they, if you're playing at this level, you're not an idiot. You know when you messed up. Oh man, they're just okay.
Yeah, fourth pick Brooded instead of third pick. I was saying there's no Brood Mother. Well, there it was.
It's a very good Brood game, Cap. It's great against Rubik. Witch Doctor Stun is garbage against it because there's just the sheer amount of babies that you have on the ground. Beastmaster is kind of mediocre too because this, you don't have a way to deal with the spiders. Wraith King is
Well, you got axes, right?
yeah, but they're not. It's not fantastic.
Okay.
It's more because you get run at and you have to like reflexively get gone on, and the nature of how Brood plays, like flitting in and out of fights, makes it very hard to get roar off.
Okay.
The Hawk's okay. The Hawk's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But when is the Hawk bad? And then Wraith King is really mediocre. Very single target.
Okay. Ninjas in Pajamas. Oh, that was another thing that kind of annoyed me because we talked about how they didn't really have. You said Ember's not really a counter to Broodmother, and I was like, yeah, and Tidehunter's not really that good at. Like traditionally, you go back several years, you would say, oh, Tidehunter's a counter to Broodmother. They're both side laners. You run them against each other, and Tide actually does quite well. But we've had this information. We as commentators have seen what's good against Broodmother and what's not. And one of those heroes is right there, the Kunkka that was banned away. The other one is the Tiny, which Infamous have. Ninjas in Pajamas have to show us something that can actually threaten the Broodmother, not just protect himself against spiders.
It's a good Storm game.
It's Meepo.
The old Meeps.
Old Meeps.
Meep. That is an ace Meepo, right?
Yep, and it's got a lot of AoE damage to deal with Phantom Lancer, to deal with spiders. I don't know if it's the hero that really threatens Broodmother, but we'll have to see.
We'll see. I don't actually know how Meepo does against PL. I'd imagine because PL, like, he has such a slow ramp-up time, maybe it's very good.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it, though. NIP,
it's good.
They're going to go out on their own terms here.
Yep.
This is something that we've wanted to see from them, honestly. We've been waiting to see from them. To give us, like, some sort of flair, put a stamp on it and say, this is, like, our thing. They're going to run at you. They have a strong 5-man lineup. The one thing about this lineup that stands out to me, Cap, is even if the laning phase goes poorly, they can fight.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was something they really lacked in their other games. This is a fighting lineup. They have stuns. They have vision. They have disable. The only thing I'd say they lack is like that burst. That's going to come from Ace, which means that Ace has to have a good laning phase.
Yeah. I do know Meepo's good versus Phantom Lancer, right? Because not only do you have the AoE damage, you have multiple ensnares, which Phantom Lancer really hates.
Yeah. You can't doppel walk out of the net.
You can't doppelganger out of the net, and then
he's really good against all the one positions.
Even if you dodge like the first net, like you have a general idea of where he's going with his doppelganger, you just throw 2 more nets in that area.
Let me say, by the way, I think that he's good against like all the carries, like Void, Anti-Mage, like all like the really like janky ones that rely on like their gap close abilities.
Yeah. It's always just a question of whether or not your like first 15 minutes of the game are going to go well. And we'll have to see how that is against Broodmother.
Yeah, let's fire up NIP. Let's go. We're not biased at all, but we want your tournament life to continue so that you get into a dramatic situation where PPD has to fight his former team to get to TI. That would be so hype. You know that there's no bad blood lost there. But this is what I want personally. This is what made me say it's looking spicy.
For the lower bracket. That would, or for elimination.
And
that would hide.
For EG to get into upper and for NIP to get sent out of the tournament. Both of those situations.
Plus, it makes every single match of this group
worth.
Just not as exciting if you already know who's out at the bottom.
Yes.
Right? Because everyone in the group gets to go that, oh, thank God. It's not us.
Yes.
And we're going to play in playoffs, and then we could just focus on that fact.
Yeah. Right now, for me, NIP It's now time to show up. You've been waiting. You know, you're sleeping dragon. I'm good with it. Yeah. You know, saving strats for this. Sure. But this is it. This is your tournament life on the line.
You know what? We're skipping this tip. This is not the tip to have. Calm players, I don't want to see calm out of Nip. I want to see frenzied, bloodlusted.
All right, give me one. Crystal, Maida, and Lena are sisters. What a tip.
What a tip.
All right, scroll through until we find the one we want.
All right. God.
Even a defeat is practice for your next victory.
All right.
Good.
That's the
I
one.
like that. That's perfect.
Ninjas in Pajamas have been doing a lot of practicing in this group stage, and now is the time to get the victory.
Every defeat is practice for your next victory. Well, they've got one real good victory stored up in the wings. Some Kamehameha.
This is, just to be absolutely clear, Ninjas in the Pajamas, their fate is not in their hands, but if they do lose any more games, they are 100%
They
out.
cannot make it to enough wins. They need a minimum of 5 right now because that is the next lowest. Currently, they're rocking 2, so they have to win out. They're playing against
Evil
South
Geniuses.
America's Best
in
Infamous,
Yep.
and then Evil Geniuses, yes.
Yeah.
Crazy how good Infamous looks, though.
Yeah.
I just can't get over how good South America. They've really brought it. They have come to play at this TI, and I can't help but admire that.
I mean, they certainly came into this tournament,
This shit's
developed a
inspiring,
concept, and they keep on. They have like slight alterations, but I do feel like teams are letting them draft the way they want to.
Yes.
They're giving them the heroes that they want.
They're
to
not
play.
respecting them, but you know, at this point, you gotta start. You gotta give them all the respect in the world. And you know what the coolest part is? I feel like this will inspire the region. This is homegrown talent, Cap.
Yeah.
This is
This is not Team Ham.
yeah.
This is not Pepita plus 4 Europeans trying to get an easy win.
Yeah, this is homegrown talent, and if you're a fan of the region, this is so cool for you guys. Good luck, SA, because right now they're putting Europe in a do or die situation right now, Cap.
We're going to have the 33 Beastmaster and Saksa Rubik duo at the top lane. Once again, Infamous are going to start off with their tri-lane, and Whisper's going to be left alone as a Leshrac. He's going to try and soak some experience.
What is that thing, by the way, SA streamer do? Like the Ga or whatever?
Gah!
All right, we'll do that if they win.
Yeah.
I mean, because that'll have secured themselves out of last place as well.
Yep.
And if NIP wins, you know, I'll eat an overcooked steak. 'Cause apparently every European that I've ever met is really into like well done steaks. I'll request the chef tonight at the buffet. Sear the hell out of that.
Infamous. So this time around, Ninjas in Pajamas did not get caught into the early tri-lane trap. They don't give any kills up, and eventually Schofield does rotate because he has to give Whisper some semblance of a game.
I feel like they've done that like every game in the tournament.
Yeah.
They've tried to go on for that early first blood, pick up a freebie, win the lane for Hector, and then move. As this mid lane is going fine for Ace. This is what we anticipated. The Meepo. Ember was not the counter, but maybe Meepo is. I'm not a Meepo player, so it's hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
But I actually play a lot of Brood.
Oh, you're a Brood player now?
Yeah. You gotta be, honestly. You can't make it out there without learning. This mid, Ace is gonna clean up a lot of these spiders.
Honestly, I'm just happy he's not an off-lane hero, so I don't have that pressure to learn him.
Yeah. Oh, and Chrysalis is gonna drop the loser spray. This is my new favorite meta that's developed at this tournament.
Yeah.
Shout outs to OG for making this a thing. The loser spray is the next level. You can mute people, but you can't mute the ground.
You know, I saw that. I was pretty sure that was going to be a thing at TI. But the other one I thought was going to be the monkey one. I thought that was going to be another one. That's the other spray I quite like. Schofield. The lane is going to push in, so he's going to show up at this tri-lane once again and try and get the kill on Saksa. He's going to be able to get the telekinesis, but the avalanche and all the shadow poison, that's easily going to be enough to... Oh! One more. He's going to pop his stick, have enough for the lance, and that will be enough to secure first blood.
And it's this tri-lane that they've utilized to make sure that Hector's lane is as good as possible. Schofield, the best part about, I think, Schofield's gameplay is that he always finds where he needs to be to get kills. He is not a passive, I'm going to slowly win your lane. He's, let's get kills. I'm here for a reason.
Yeah, he shows up, gives just enough security for Whisper, and then as soon as he sees an opportunity to head back to top, he does so.
I do think, by the way, let's load up net worth, because I think the last hit chart for Meepo is like it's heavily skewed.
He's only slightly ahead of the Phantom Lancer right now, but does have a good distance over Chris Luck. But perhaps somewhat expected as Chris Luck will at some point catch back up after
he gonna jungle
after the neutrals.
Half-legged abomination.
Time for Whisper to pull some shenanigans because he knows how dangerous this Witch Doctor Wraith King double stun lineup is.
Especially with that early level of Maledict. Is PPD going to tango with Whisper a little bit, but Whisper's going to disco his way up to this lane. He's even going to run into this DD area. Is PPD going to deny it? Smartly so. He was on the high ground, wouldn't have made it in time. So Whisper continues to keep track of the creep wave. Spada doing his best to keep the creep wave where it is.
Nice deny. Always feels good when the enemy hero uses mana to try and secure a range creep. Last hit, you get the deny over him.
Yeah, whenever I do that against, you know who I statistically love doing that against is other Storm players. It feels really good because it's all the spells that have like that wind up time.
Yeah. I mean, he's got that very telegraphed, like, I'm going to Remnant. They do manage to kill Hector at top lane. I'm not sure exactly how they got him so low so easily, but it looks like they just blew all their spells. Telekinesis.
They're going to get a good amount of the bounty runes, too.
Both bounties at top, and Peter secures one at bottom. Chris Luck will start playing the jungle, but Ace says, that's perfectly fine with me. I'm a mid hero that needs my own build-up time. And I feel pretty confident I'm going to beat you.
This is actually great for Ace.
Yeah.
I will say, it's really good position for him. I think this is why maybe Meepo's going to be very good against Brood, because it's one of those times where you can be passive and it's okay.
Yeah. They're the same hero, except Meepo's going to scale harder than you. Than the Broodmother, right? One difference is going to be the Hand of Midas that Chris Luck is going to try and build into, but it's not like Meepo's going to fall shy in experience. At least I hope not anyway, because I certainly have that man as the highest experience average, because that's what Meepo does. Trying to go on a Whisper here. Wraithfire Blast has the cast ready to go. Honestly, he's not that low. But Fada just continues to try and bully him out. Diabolic Edict is going to be used here, but another round of Wraithfire Blast. This means they're going to be able to get the Maledict before the cast, and Whisper's dead. And he knows it too. He doesn't even try and attack anymore.
Nope, going to go down easy.
Oh, nice Stinger. Managed to take a lot of those last hits, but may end up dying as the board is going to be able to catch him. Got tossed back into the board, the Fate Bolt to finish him off. So even if he does get all those last hits, it'll cost him his life.
And we said that NIP as a team, they need a good laning phase to be able to continue to roll. So far, so good, as they're going to even start to harass Hector quite a bit, who doesn't want to pop the Shrine, but Hector, buddy, you're going to have to.
Even dropping items on ninjas.
He dropped the Wraith Band just so that he could get extra HP. But now he's being relegated to the jungle. 33 is going to have a very good lane to start.
Disruption into Split Earth. Fada does not have his level 6, and this is too much damage, that's for sure.
And this is right before he hits level 6. Good timing for them as they immediately give him the tip. Fada tips him back. Good, good morale sign.
By the way, we know that Infamous did get to Ninjas and Pajamas. Peter had Infamous muted. He had to ask what they selected.
He said, did they first pick? And the lobby host had to say yes.
So that's how you know.
He does not, right now is not the time.
Peter is a man of banter, but inside of the game, he's got to try and pull Ninjas in Pajamas off the cliff, off the edge that they're currently standing on, because they're about to plummet their way out of the International.
And Chris Luck, by the way, he's decided to go for the build where you go Midas into Ags. I think the key difference between like the two builds, oftentimes that Brutes go for,
Threatening
is like,
the Roar, and they are actually going to use the Roar here.
Is he
Hector
dead?
is
Yeah, he's
very
gone.
dead.
Nice.
And 33 doesn't even take that much damage. They are really going to pressure this tower.
Yeah, this is going to be the double bore. These high levels of it too, level 7, actually level 6. But this mid tower being pressured by Ace. Remember what I told you, by the way, during the break? What actually hurts Meepos, or Broodmothers, is the ability to take her tower.
Yeah.
That's really what hurt.
Toss back into the Diabolic Edict. Whisper is going to try and run him down. They do have the Reincarnation, so a second life. Do they have enough damage? We'll see. There's nothing out for the Tiny except for a toss, but it looks like
Soul
with just
Catcher.
the Split Earth, it is so much with the Soul Catcher.
His health just evaporated.
This is why that Shadow Demon has been such a popular pick in this group stage. Feels like that Soul Catcher makes every burst damage hero look good.
Still, game is still relatively okay for NIP. If you do manage to take the mid tower of the Broodmother, it changes the way that she has to play because it feels even worse.
They're going to catch Peter as well behind the tower. Diabolic Edict to finish off this tier 1. Ninjas in Pajamas are trying to equalize things by taking top. And Ace is not ready to be rotating around just yet. He's about to get his blink, though.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
4 to 4. 10-minute bounty runes are about to spawn. Looks like the team's going to split it up for now, as both their mid laners are not looking for a fight just yet. I do wonder if this early Blink Dagger from Ace is going to change things.
Yeah.
He's not going for the quadruple Wraithband into Ethereal Blade build. He's actually going an active build for this Meepo.
I wish I played more Meepo. I could tell you like the nuance, like the perfect nuance as to like why, but my bad, buddy. I'll learn for our matchup knowledge.
I imagine it has to do with pressuring the Phantom Hunter better.
Of course.
And this this brew that's running around with all the spiders. I mean, if mobility is key, nothing's going to be better than Blink stunning her.
This mid tower though, still very healthy.
Got to be able to catch Peter here. He is very dead.
Oh, Ace is now here though.
Ace is really going to commit for this one. He's actually going to go for that last rank.
He's
The
gonna
damage
kill
dealer
everyone.
is dead. That means the Shadow Demon is gone as well. Schofield's trying to get out. Fada knows he did not run left, so he's got to be somewhere in this triangle. Spot him with a telekinesis. Raid Fire Blast as well.
Toss up.
Toss for toss.
And
Ace
Ace.
actually managed to run down Hector as well. Schofield's still alive.
That was the roar.
He's trying to skedaddle here, but there's nowhere to run to. He'll be met by a shot from the tier 2 tower. He caught the Phantom Lancer up here. I mean, he saw the fight happen. He must have gotten just a little bit too greedy. Got roared.
He did indeed. I mean, he just didn't expect Ace to gap close like that. Then Hector got roared.
Well, you could say that was a very successful Blink Dagger reveal. He's already back to 2,000 gold. He almost just made his money back by purchasing this Blink. Going to be able to get to the Shadow Demon as well. Schofield, I'm not sure if you really want to get too close to this one. The Soul Catcher goes out. They're going to try and burst down the Meepo with a Split Earth, but it doesn't land because Soxa had the telekinesis as well.
Ace
as
is
the
getting
toss.
low.
But Ace does go down as Chris Luck and his gigantic army finishes off those spiders. Going to be able to get Peter as well.
And
Who just
Schofield,
stands his ground for a while.
it looked like he wanted to continue to go, but instead forced to back up. Has to go for the double bracer this time around. I think he assumes that his timing is just way too off. Normally we see him just go for the straight brown boots into the bottle and get Blink regardless of what level he is.
Yep.
But this time around a little bit different. Opting to instead be a little bit tankier, which I think is the right idea, especially against a Meepo. What is the point? Like, you blink into a Meepo.
Yeah.
But I don't really know where the gold lead evaporated from. I guess the Broodmother getting so much out of that fight, and
Yeah.
her getting the last hit on an Ace, as the net worth was at one point almost like, what, 3,000 gold, 4,000?
I mean, Phantom, like Hector was farming that entire time at that point as well.
Yeah, somehow he's ahead of Fada. I thought because he had died 3 times, he'd be significantly far behind, but we have seen Hector regardless of the circumstances, always end up with some amount of net worth.
What?
Somehow he has more net worth than the Beastmaster, Cap.
Yeah. What is Fada's build, by the way?
Oh, he's going for a hood. Okay.
Why though? Like, no minus, no Radiance build. Do have the Avalanche to be able to slow down 33. They
Stinger's
traded
so dead.
Leshrac for a
Oh,
Rubik.
Schofield goes down too. During this time, the Meepo is PPD.
Okay, Peter.
So bad against the spiders.
Yeah, look, you stunned 3 or 4 spiders.
There was 20 in that pack.
The other 16 are ready to go. Dying like that always feels just terrible.
Oh, Ace gonna run in briefly, but Chris Luck just gonna stop his farming for half a second, try to be safe. And yeah, as a support, when you run into some of these like Brood games, you know it feels really bad as like a Venge or a CM. At least CM has ulti, but like Venge, especially like single target presence, no AoE.
Yeah.
You have no clear way to get this to the spiders.
I mean, I personally have the biggest problem with just Broodmothers or Arc Wardens, these heroes that for no risk will just kill the 5 position, you know?
Yeah.
Like Chris Luck doesn't have to do anything with this hero. He just throws the spiders at Peter and
Remember
Peter
Magical
dies.
yesterday when Stinger, he was microing against Stinger?
Yeah.
Oh, that was sad. To give you context, guys, Magical was microing to try to last hit the SD, and he didn't notice his own hero had been gone on.
And he didn't even kill the support he was going for as a result.
Yeah, that was a real oopsie.
I think he should have, but I think he panicked and went back to his hero and stopped microing his spiders.
Yes.
So it was a lose-lose situation. Hector, how's he doing? Diffusal Blade coming in as his next item. We have the same Yules build from Whisper. This last game, but it's Roshan time. This is something that Infamous need to constantly be aware of. Fortunately, the Broodmother's really good at being able to control the area around the Roshan pit, so they will be here in time. Like these sentries that have been laid down to be able to deal with the Hawks. Finish off the boars as well. Chris Luck's just going to play in this cliff area that Ninjas in Pajamas will have a hard time going on him. Well, the mid lane is actually being assaulted right now because there's a siege wagon, and Hector, with all his illusions, the ensnare doesn't quite hit. A second net coming out. Hector's going to be able to dodge that one as well. He's got the doppelganger for the third net.
Now the Roshan area's been left behind. Precarious position for NIP because they don't want to get too far away from here. Both teams just hanging around, seeing what's going to happen. Sentry's going to be laid out by Stinger. If he walks up that hill, he'll see. He should actually know about the ward, right? Yeah, he should. He's got his own ward there, too.
That ward doesn't see it.
I see.
And
I
he
guess
doesn't
it's on
see
the
it
way
either. When he gets really close, that's not quite enough vision. He's going to be found by Ace, and he's going to be like, how'd you know I was there? He'll end up dying. They do have the Primal Roar on the Brood. That's a big kill, but a Split Earth managed to lock down all those Meepos. The Paralyzing Cast keeping the Broodmother locked in place. He will end up dying. And now he can Rosh. Unfortunately, sorry guys. I don't know what the deal is, but the hotkeys are not right. Both teams, there we go. I tried to show the vision and realized I couldn't go back.
And the Brood Spiders, they're hanging around the area, but they're not going to do anything.
Fate Bolted Spiders, I don't think that's getting the last hit on Roshan.
Can you imagine? If that's a snatch right there, I'd lose it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be back up to a 1K gold lead for NIP. This time they're doing much better than they did in their previous game. Actually going for moves. I feel like that's the first Roshan attempt that I've seen from them in like 4 games.
Yeah. They've got the E-Blade, the 15 talent, so the 20% evasion adds a lot to a Meepo's effective HP. So they've just, I mean, they're all inning on Ace carrying this game. With this pipe build from Fada and then the Vlads into Crimson Guard, they're literally just going to go every single team fight item and have Ace carry the game. Fada will not have much of a game as a result. He has no farming items. This is a it's kind of an
I've seen this
all-in
build before.
approach.
He's done this build before.
Uh-huh.
I think in this exact same situation, actually, with the Meatball on his team.
Yeah.
He's just trying to enable it,
Yeah.
I believe.
But it means if Meepo does actually get addressed by Infamous, the game is pretty much over. Ace should have a really sick game. He's going to be able to find another kill on a Schofield while his team continues to pressure the bottom tier 2. And simultaneously still defending mid. Sox is able to do that alone. They may have to give up their tier 1 tower top, which Chris Luck is going to go for the back door on, but they can just go for the high ground right now if they want to try and take advantage of Infamous's awkward position. Force them back inside their base. That's the last thing that Infamous wants to be. Yeah, with the skeletons coming out and everything, Infamous really have to address this quickly. They have to try and kill the skeletons in that first round, and they just don't. So the tier 3 is already dead, and Ninja's Pajamas, they could back up if they want to, or they can try and go for the kill on Schofield. Split Earth, managed to land on it too. A nice hold there from Peter. Managed to get a lot of damage on it. Infamous. Stinger is going to be forced away. That's 3 heroes. He got out of that high ground area.
And with only a 2K gold lead, they're going for it here. I really like this from NIP. Last time it took almost like a 40K gold lead for them to feel comfortable. This time around, they're forcing the issue. They're going to grab the tier 3 tower.
Look at
They
this
know
sneaky
that right
play.
now
They pop
Infamous
the
can't
glyph.
fight.
Ace, he's going to try and catch Chris Luck, and he does manage to get him. This is Chris Luck's death.
Trying to all in to get the tower and just barely doesn't have that BKB. And he even buys out, so he wouldn't have his buyout in this position cap. He's that confident that his team can hold without Ace there. And he might be right. That's why 33 going to evacuate the building, completely reset things for themselves. And they have so many team fight presence auras. Like they have, they've got Vlad's, they've got the Crimson Guard almost completed, a pipe. This is a very mid-game oriented strategy. This is meant to end the game at the 20-minute mark. Is Ace going to run in, find Schofield?
Surround him with the meepos, toss one meepo away, but the other 2 remain. And a 4th shows up for the party, just in time to claim the kill and maybe finish up a Scythe of
They're
Ice
going for it,
before the
Cap.
next push. They really are.
They're trying to end this game pre-30 minutes.
I
This
mean,
lineup will not scale with the item sets that they've gotten.
You know, I think this is really cool because they've got the attack speed aura, the vampiric aura, and the Vlad's combined with the Meepo Ransack.
Yes.
So he is actually going to be lifestealing like crazy.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you've got the pipe so that the AoE magic damage does not work into him, and the Crimson Guard coming out of 33. This is quite the build for them. This is meant to put the pressure on early, as they might go for the Shrine here.
It pretty much means they have to, they just don't have a ton of AoE disables. They have Split Earth and Avalanche.
Yep.
They need more, I think, because if the Meepos are right-clicking, then
They're
all
just
of
going
them are
for
just
it.
going to go back up to full health because of Ransack.
Onto the high ground they march.
33 drops a little bit low from the Soul Catcher, but Infamous can't really push forward. That Ace Meepo is just so terrifying, and he's so tanky. Now they've got to pick off Schofield. It's going to be tossed back for the telekinesis into all the Meepos, and even as they take the damage, they just keep on moving forward. Whisper thinks they're a little bit low enough, maybe commit, and that's certainly where this Phantom Lancer's going in, but he has to doppelganger away with Sliver of HP. He's going to be caught, shot down by the Ethereal Blade. Now turning in with a Scythe of Ice, going to be able to go for Schofield on his 2nd life. No dieback for him, and Whisper, well, he can't even finish off one Meepo. He
Oh,
still
they
has
denied
the
it from
Aegis,
him.
and that's it.
They denied them. They were going to give him the Rampage. Stinger's going to walk in here.
Chris Luck trying to go in. He's going to deal with Soxa as best he can. He's going to be able to clean up 33 as well. Oh,
Rampage.
No, he got Primal Roar. Rampage for Ace. Give him a double Rampage. Whisper actually hits a beautiful Split Earth, but this is still a Meepo with Aegis. You can't bring him down. There's too many teamfight auras. His Meepo's too damn big. Ninjas in Pajamas, they came to this game on the edge, on the brink. One game and they're out. They came into it with a plan, and it's a filthy plan too. It's a Meepo full team fight lineup.
And Chris Luck trying to find Fada, who does still have
The reincarnation, so that's 2 different cores. They just can't kill fast enough. Fada.
Chris Luck trying to slow him down, and he's going to
dead.
go down real easy. But still 7K gold lead. And there's the Hex on the Meepo. He's got 2,700 gold on top of that. They've got so much gold to work with here.
One lane of barracks, shrines to be taken. Roshan, actually this is just kind of like that perfect tempo for the Meepo game. He uses that first Aegis well to take the first lane. They're going to back up. They've got 2 minutes until Roshan potentially spawns again.
I think you slow things down for yourself right now. This is
Yeah.
the perfect moment. Wait for the next Roshan. Infamous has proved that they can't fight around that area anyways. And Ace is way too big at this point. As the Courier, if you look at it, it's so low right now. It's trying to make its way to the left side, 33. Spotting it with the Hawk, but they might just not be fast enough for this. It is indeed going to make its way out. Throws out the Axis to try to clear up some vision for Saksa.
Old Cluckles will get out of there.
Fly.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Heart next for Hector. He thinks he just needs the raw stats.
By the way, I was wrong. Oh. Hold that thought. No matter what, I believe Infamous is not last.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
of
yeah.
the previous win.
Yeah, because of that last
They
one.
had 6. They
I
have
mean,
6
you
now.
weren't really wrong because you did say that.
Did I?
Yeah, you said that after they won the game.
Oh, am I crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, you know, it'd feel good to eliminate a team, I bet.
Probably doesn't feel bad. Oh, that was weird. He gave him the bottle to bottle up the Ilu. Make it full for the Tiny.
Oh, and he just didn't.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He just didn't do it.
Yeah, I think so. It's all good, though. 33 hanging around the area. I think they're so close to winning this game. All they have to do is get control of the Roshan pit. It could spawn in 10 seconds. Of course, being a professional team, they're well aware of this.
Yeah. Everybody has the timing written down.
Sometimes players like Envy will do it for you.
Yeah. 25-minute bounties as well. No need to try and get greedy and go for 3. Fada shouldn't do that. That's for sure. Look at him. Shiva's next. He is all about the team right now. This is the most 3-position Wraith King I've seen since, oh, hey,
Oh, jeez.
Peter died,
PPD just existed.
and then he didn't.
That was wild. The spiders just found him, and then he just died.
Imagine how terrifying that would be.
Oh, and like if this was a real thing,
Yeah, just a pack of roaming spiders running around,
that just assassinate you.
just devour you alive.
And that is the level 20 talent too on the Brood.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's where stuff gets scary, but it's mostly scary when the Broodmother has the superior map control and he's taking Roshan and towers with these spiders. The team fight aspect, we'll see how effective it's going to be. Because Zambor comes down to whether or not he can get to the back line with the spiders and kill the supports.
Agree with everything you just said. So they're going to smoke up around the Roshan timing.
Oh, Chris Luck actually does spot Peter. He
Oh boy!
Ay.
Oh, that is the that's a Lincoln's.
That's a Lincoln's.
Yeah, that's pretty big. That's your hex counter for the Meepo. Oh man, PPD. This is this place
Oh,
is
now
not for you.
Sox next. He blinks away just before
Dude, he was gonna die.
the
Let me
spiders
just say.
attack.
That is. I don't know. I kind of enjoy watching it. It's so funny because there's like nothing you can do about it.
And that's why you know Blitz is at his core, at his heart, he is not a support player.
No, what it really is I'm not a good person.
Mm.
That's what it boils down to.
Why not both?
That's true. And IP gonna clean up this Roshan. Heart picked up by the Phantom Lancer. This is one way to deal with this, but still, they're not out of the rough yet.
Yeah, I mean, this just goes to show that like these little pickoffs that the Broodmother gets, like that doesn't matter. What matters was getting the Roshan. And
Yes.
now that they have Aegis and Cheese, Ninjas and Pajamas can go high ground with confidence. And it's up to Infamous now to
What's your
change the
answer?
game. You gotta play aggressive right now, get a fast pick off, take away that Aegis, kill everybody else but the Meepo, anything but just letting Nip run up into your base.
And remember, Infamous is still playing for that upper bracket slot.
Yeah,
Still
they
well
want this win.
possible.
30 skeletons attack damage, just one more reason that Infamous should not let Ninjas in Pajamas get close to their base. And I feel like they're letting them happen right now. Nip could just run through mid.
Yo, they don't have TPs.
Hit top. Wait, seriously? No TP, 2 seconds. 6 seconds.
Tiny doesn't have a TP.
No TP on Tiny. 70. Oh,
he just bought one. Okay, they're easily going to let them march up. Here come the boys.
The boys are out.
Dude, the
They're
boys
back
are doing
in town,
it.
and the boys, they're tearing down that tier 3. They're about the revolution. They're tearing down the wall, and looks like Meepo, they may be able to take away that Aegis pretty easy. They will get that. The toss over to the Shadow Demon.
Oh,
That,
he
I
tossed
don't
in
think
Stinger.
was what Schofield wanted with that play. And it looks like all of Infamous, they should be able to get out of anything. Infamous, they might just be able to catch more out of this nasty situation. Peter, he's going to be disrupted. His TP is canceled.
Peter just, this is not the game for him, as he is 2-8-6, only level 10 right now, despite his team having that hefty net worth. I wish we could see the replay, because you just saw Schofield toss in Stinger, and Stinger did not want to be there.
No.
But with the Aegis immediately taken out, that was such a bad situation for NIP. They weren't able to get the jump, and as a reminder, this is an all early game build that they've gone for.
Oh, yeah. Like, this game looks super one-sided, but you give it, like, 5 minutes.
The builds alone will make the difference. This is a Shiva's
Look at
Wraith
that.
King.
There's the toss into the Shadow Demon. Fortunately, there was a defensive force staff for him.
You've got a Shiva's Wraith King, no Necro Book or Blink or anything like that for the Beastmaster, no Solar Crest.
I mean, that fight really showed that as soon as the Meepo was dead, there was no damage. Like, even just the little bit of time where he's reviving off the Aegis, Infamous could just swarm forward, knowing that this Shiva's Blink Pipe Wraith King he's not a threat.
Let me say, by the way, games like this are always scary when you play against SD support because of the turnaround potential of disruption.
Yeah.
You're gonna make
As
this
well,
move.
Soul Catcher, right?
They
That
just got a
is
kill.
Schofield. Picked off, does not have buyback.
And they're looking for more right now. 33 did get the Invis rune, pushing forward right now, trying to find somebody.
This is definitely something that I think Ninjas in Pajamas, they lost the Aegis, yes, but they can't wait for the third Roshan.
No. I think they will lose the game if this game continues for another like 12 minutes and they haven't pushed their lead to another set of racks.
Yeah. So Ninjas in Pajamas, this game looked pretty solid for them. They are going to be able to find the initiation onto Whisper. And a telekinesis opening actually onto that Shadow Demon. A really big kill, especially if they get both of them here. The lockdown on the Phantom Lancer. They hit him with the chains. They locked him down. Ace running forward. Hector does have the Doppelganger to be able to get some distance away. A little bit of confusion. A force staff out. Gets back to the tier 4. Schofield hit by the Avalanche. Actually, they see the real Hector. Lock him down again. Doppelganger's up, but he's still rooted. Still locked down. Get the chains on the Splinter. The telekinesis. He's dead. No buyback, too. So Infamous, they're going to have to fight this out 3 versus 5 as they try and chase away Ninjas in Pajamas. But Nip, they know this is their time to secure this game.
This Ace Meepo, 19-1-3.
He is a beast, and he's about to get his 20th kill. As Schofield is going to be chased out by the Scythe. The Split Earth stalls one of the Meepos, but the rest of them stream forward. Bada takes the kill instead. But Nip, focus on the objectives. Go for that lane of barracks, or go for Chris Luck, actually. Chain stun him, make sure he can't get off his BKB, and he is food. He is fodder for Infamous at this point. Schofield's next up. Rip down the rock. Whisper's going to get chain stun. Infamous just one by one, getting pecked and poked apart by Ninjas in Pajamas, and that's the GG.
All right.
Nip will stay alive at TI.
So now we're in the dream situation, guys. This is the dream scenario that I was hoping for. NIP against EG, the former captain.
To stay alive, to stay in the tournament, to prove something to Evil Geniuses,